Okay, let's get into some more examples with 2b dealing with congruent figures. Most of the time we're going to talk about congruent triangles. Example number 4 here gives us the congruency statement, plus it also gives us the triangles filled out. Now this is filled out not only with knowing the corresponding pieces, but we also have some measurements of sides and angles in here. So what I'm going to do is go through and first of all mark all the angles. So S is going to be equal to B. Okay, so then I can see right away when I mark that angle B has to be 67. Angle T and F. So T and F have to be the same. Now I can find that because I know these two added together and subtracted from 180 will give me this one. So that's going to be 67, 31 degrees. Well, if that's 31, then angle T is 31. And then W and N are also the same, so if one is 82, the other one is 82. Okay? Then I can easily go over here and fill in my answers because I have already the answers all written down. As far as the sides go, I can see I have a 9 and a 17, and over here I have a 14. So I think you can kind of see which ones are going to go together, but let's just go through. So ST and BF. So ST is 17, so BF is 17. TW and FN go together. So TW I don't have a measurement, but FN I do, and it's 14. So that means TW has to be 14. And then if the third side here is 9, the third side here has to be 9. Okay, so once I have all that, and I just strongly encourage you to do all this first, and then coming over here is easy. So when I look at BN, that's going to be 9, TW is 14, BF is 17. Angle W was 82, angle B 67, and angle F 31. See how easy it is just to write in our answers once I've done this? It's just a brain way of thinking for me that if I do all this, then I can just come over here and answer or fill in the blanks. But if I have to go back and forth, that interrupts my thinking. So, and that's hard because you're constantly having to switch gears as you go back and forth. But if that works for you, go do it. I'm just giving you some suggestions on what I do. Okay, let's go down to number 5. You'll see that the example is very similar to the one we just did. So GHJ and XYZ. So first thing I'm going to do is mark what's equal. So G and X, H and Y, H and Y, and J and Z. Now, one thing I would say, do you recognize that these two sides are equal? So if those two sides are equal, that makes these two angles equal. And J and Z are going to be the same. Okay, so if I come over here, Y and H are the same, so that's going to be 38 here. And if I take 180 minus the 38, that leaves me 142. Divide that between 2, I get 71. That means these base angles are both 71. Okay, remember these are going to be isosceles triangles. So isosceles, if two sides are equal, then their base angles are equal. So I got all the angles marked out, and you'll notice all the angles are the same because they are congruent. They have to be exactly the same. Over here I've got two sides that are both going to be 27, so their corresponding sides over here are going to be 27. Oops. And the third base is 18, so the base is 18. Even though that this one's up here, it's still called the base. It is the one that's opposite the vertical or vertex angle. So GJ is 18, XY is 27, ZY is 27, angle H is 38, Z is 71, and J is 71. Okay, number 6. Basically, we just got to find what matches up with what. If we want to find the value of x, y, and z. So here's my x, here's my y, and here's my z. Okay, so x right here, this 12x minus 7 has to equal, here, let me do it in here, its corresponding one. So VU has to correspond with ST. So if we look over here, ST is 53, so those are going to equal 53. Okay, for the y has to match up with RS. I'm going to write this here so I don't have to worry about that. So RS matches up with WV. WV is 57. So to match up that, so my value of y is 18. The one with z in it is 3z plus 14. That's UW. UW matches up with TR. TR is 50. So you notice I say matching up. That's just a way that, another way of using the word corresponds. So 3z is going to equal 36. So z equals 12. So finding which sides correspond to which sides, dealing with the x, y, and the z, and then you go through and solve. I think you can see number 7 is going to be done the same way. Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can find x, y, and z. Alright, so here we go. So the 6x minus 29, that's angle H. H corresponds with N. So I look over here, angle N is 115. y minus 1, that's angle F, that corresponds with S. Ooh, do I know that one? Can I find it? So let's take a look. So I know angle H and angle N are the same, so that's 115. So this one has to be 115. So when I add these two together and subtract from 180, that will give me angle S here. And S matches up with F, so those two will have to be the same. Okay, so 115 plus 36, 151, so 180 minus 151 is 29. So angle S is 29, so angle F has to equal 29. This is all triangle sum. So 3y equals 30, y equals 10. And my last one with the z, the 4z minus 32. Angle C matches up with angle P. Angle P is 36. And I get z equals 17. Okay. Last two are going to be basically figured out the same way. Sometimes it's easy if you just draw out generic triangles. Let's see if we can get this in here. So then you can see what matches up with what a little bit easier. So by generic, I just put DEF. And the one right next to it, got to put it in the same order. Since I have D on top, J is going to be on top. E and K have to be in the same spot. And F and L have to be in the same spot. Okay, if I draw them like that, then I know like DF matches up with LJ. So then I'm just going to put this info on the picture. So that's 18. EF is 23. And DF is 9x minus 23. JL, this side right here, is 7x minus 11. JK is 3y minus 21. Okay, so then just by knowing that, we can look at what matches up with what. And you can tell the same information just by looking here, but this just gives us a visual of what matches up. So if I want to solve for x, you can see the expression with x here and the expression with x here. Those two have to be equal to each other. Okay, so I get a value of x equals 6. Y, the expression of y is 3y minus 21. Okay, and that is jk. So I could look up here and say jk has to match up with de. I look here, de is 18. So I could do it just through that statement, or I can look at my picture and say, oh, 3y minus 21 has to match up with the 18 because they're on the same spot there. So y is going to equal 13. Okay, I can do the same thing with this last one. Again, I just strongly encourage you just to draw a generic picture like this. And no, we have no idea if that's what the triangles actually look like, but we're just trying to match up QRS. We're just trying to match up the corresponding pieces. Okay, so QR is 11, QS is 15, MP is 2x plus 1, angle S is 84, R is 32, M is 17y minus 4. Okay, so if you look at the x expression, the x expression is 2x plus 1. That matches up or corresponds with the 15. Okay, so x equals 7. The y expression has to be 17y minus 4. Angle M matches up with this top one here, angle Q. Well, I don't have angle Q, but I can find it. 84 plus 32. Add those together, subtract from 180. This angle here is 64, which means this corresponding one has to match up to be 64. Okay, so y would equal 4. So either way that you want to do it, if you just want to look at the congruency statement and figure out what matches what and then find those in your list here, or if you like a visual, you can see it pretty easily which ones match up because they're in the same spots that I've drawn on my picture. So corresponding figures are going to have corresponding sides and angles that are equal to each other.